Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the top 100 favorite games of mine of all time.
Yeah, sure, yours.
What should be the title of this video? Anyway, this is going to be the common intro for these multi-part videos where I'm going to be telling you about my favorite top 10 games in that batch until we reach the top 10 out of the top 100 games. And in these top 100 games, I'll be telling that what kind of game it is. If you think that why some game is not in my top 100, the most probable answer is going to be maybe I've not played it. If I have played it, well, maybe it's below top 100, and that's why it's not in this list. Anyway, these are my personal choices. Everyone have their own opinion. I have a good collection of games which have some parts of BGG's top 100, some of reviewers' favorite games, whether it's Dice Tower, Rado, Board Game Co. And from their choices, whatever matches my choice, I used to purchase a lot of games, and from that this top 100 has come as what I think is my favorite top 100 games. So with this common intro, let's get on with today's segment. Today's top 100 video segment is from games 90 to 100, and we will be going in the descending order, so from 100 to 90. So before talking about my 100th most favorite game of all time, few of the games that just missed top 100 games, 2 3 names I will tell.
It's like honorable mentions.
Honorable mention, yeah, they are on 101, 102, 103 name. So that's going to be The Adventures of Robin Hood, a narrative game. You like that one? Yes.
It was nice. It was a nice game.
Yeah, so that is on 101. Then there is Happy Salmon.
Happy Salmon. Oh, I have not played that in a long time.
Yeah, in which actually it's a chaotic game in which you have a certain card and you are yelling to each other who has a similar card, and only if you do that action with that other player, then you get to remove that card, and whoever gets rid of all their cards is going to be the winner. A chaotic fun game.
It's not really a complex game, sort of something you pull out last minute before everyone goes.
Yeah, a partish game. And then it's going to be the Star Wars miniature game, X-Wing miniature game. So that's on my 103. That one you have not played.
I have not played that.
But anyway, so that's one of the miniature games which is very close to a board game, and that's the only miniatures game that I have played, and that's on 103. Again, I can go in that list, but this list is not about the games which didn't meet top 100 list. So on my 100 game, most favorite game of all time is going to be Arctic Scavengers. Arctic Scavengers is a deck building game.
Deck building.
That's why maybe you have not played it.
I don't even remember that game. I thought you were talking about the other one.
So in Arctic Scavengers, with deck building games, one of the things that some might say is a problem with deck building games is that the game plays all by itself. The only choice you have is what cards you want to purchase, and then once you have purchased those cards, well, whatever cards come in your hand, just play them out and see what happens. That's going to be the norm for a majority of the deck building game, but Arctic Scavenger was actually unique in that manner because it has multiple phases with those cards. Not only are you using the same deck of cards, well, the hand of cards that you pick up from your deck, you are going to use to actually purchase. You are deciding that which cards do you want to invest in doing the scavenging options, and which cards do you want to keep for doing the fight action, which is going to you're going to have fight for resources with other players. So that was a unique element, that you had to actually pick and choose your battles. Sometimes for certain resources you might decide, I want to just lose the battle and instead use all my cards for the better purchasing power for future cards. And that's why it was a bit more unique and very thematic deck building game. So little less known. This is what I picked up from the recommendation of Shut Up and Sit Down, and I really loved it because it was very thematic. I played it with the base game plus HQ plus Recon, the big box of that game, and that's why it's my top 100 game. All right. On number 99 is going to be Libertalia Winds of Galecrest. Now, Libertalia Winds of Galecrest is the second edition reprinting, second edition, not reprinting, of Libertalia, the original game, which was a pirate themed game. The Winds of Galecrest is rethemed by Stonemaier Games, which is also pirate themed, but it's now animals based, anamorphic animals based. Plus, it is in sky ships and more cheerful graphics and more beautiful components. So
It's
I don't.
certainly more vibrant and colorful, you can say that.
Yeah, so that's the outlook of the game. So if you're looking for a dark and gloomy pirate theme game, maybe this is not that one. But if you have played games like Citadel, then this is going to feel very similar, where each card that you will have is going to have unique powers, and the same cards someone else is going to have. So your deck is going to have a lot of characters come in this game, and for each round everyone is going to pick the same kind of cards from their certain deck. And once you have picked those cards, then it's a game of out maneuvering, out thinking your opponents, that which card are they going to play and which card should I play, because each character has special powers, and you're going to decide that is my character going to outsmart the other player's character, are we going to play the same character. Because in the end, these character abilities are going to let you steal the loot that's going to be there. There is going to be some day phase activities and night phase activities which are going to be different for characters. So maybe you want to react in the night phase to do something sneaky, but again, what number you play for the, other than the abilities of the card, what number is on the card is also going to determine that which player goes first, or their ability uses first. So if you used a faster character, maybe they will pick up the loot, and your heavy guy who was going to come late just didn't get anything to pick up. So there's a lot of smartness in this game that you have to think about. Shal, what do you think about this game? This you have played.
Yes, I have played this game once or twice. It was a very nice game. I generally like games to involve outsmarting, outthinking other people, because it just involves so much more strategy in a way. Like, oh, what are they going to do in this scenario? They might play this and this, and I just love that.
All right, so that's number 99, Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest. Those who don't want the bright, cheerful version, you can still get the old version, but I do recommend, and it does support two-player mode as well as solo mode as well in this new edition by Stonemaier Games. All right, on number 98 is going to be Splendor Marvel. Now, Splendor is very famous, and again, this is going to be one of those reprints that many people don't like. But I love this reprint of Splendor. Just, well, first of all, it's a much more better artwork version of the game. So when it's on the table, all the characters, you know those characters, rather than just gloomy pictures of some Renaissance era princes and looking at gems and mines which
You
were
said
dull
Renaissance.
colored.
You said Renaissance wrong. It's Renaissance.
Oh, Renaissance. But anyway, so other than the boring theme which came with the original Splendor, even though it matched the theme more as compared to the Marvel theme, in the Marvel theme, you are actually collecting the Infinity Stones. Using those Infinity Stones, you are purchasing kind of, or attracting heroes and villains to your group. And as long as those heroes and villains are going to give you more Infinity Stones to purchase better superheroes, so the theme
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
really make sense. But Splendor in itself was kind of themeless game. It was just pure, very basic mechanics, that you are trying to get some gems, and using those gems you are trying to purchase better shops, and the shops give you more gems which you can use to collect better quality of gems later on, or cards later on with points, and whoever reaches a certain number of points is the winner. Now, Splendor Marvel, why I like this version more than the regular Splendor is, first of all, it fixed the problem which was with the base Splendor, where people might not even try to go for the more costly cards. They will just try to get the points from the easier or free cards which they can get once they have enough of an engine going. In this one, you have to get certain cards, because they have the time stone which are only available in the third level of the Splendor cards. So you have to get those. Without those, you aren't going to win. You have to collect the pair of infinity stones to win. You need to collect 16 points to win. So in this way, more variety you have to collect. But even if you don't like the new rules and you wanted to play this game with just the original Splendor rules, all the components are still there. You can still play the game with the original Splendor rules as well. So why not get this better version? So that's why Splendor Marvel I prefer over Splendor, and that's my number 98. Vishal, what do you think about Splendor?
Marvel Splendor, it is absolutely a splendid game. I, again, whatever my father said, it is absolutely correct. I love all the artwork and I love again, the thematics. My favorite part is probably how like chunky the bits are. Is that the word?
Well, those coins are
Yeah,
the poker
poker
coins,
cards. Yeah, whatever
poker
you call them.
coins,
I just love picking them up and then dropping them.
poker chips.
Yes.
Yeah, so poker chips are there. Well, they now have, instead of gems, they now have infinity stones. But in this one, there is also the Avenger symbols. So in case you have enough of the Avenger teams collected, then you get an additional point for just having the Avengers, more Avengers than anyone else. So that's also a cool way to get more points in this one. So that's number 98, Splendor Marvel. On number 97 is going to be Canvas. Now, Canvas is a very simple theme game with a unique gimmick which works well for this game. In this one, you're trying to complete some patterns, complete some objectives, which are the scoring methodologies. The game comes with different scoring mechanisms. You will shuffle them and take some random mechanisms out that, okay, for this game, you're going to get score if you have these many number of striped symbols with your cards, and or these kind of color patches on your cards. Those symbols are represented on the different cards that you're going to draft in this one. It's a drafting game, but what you are drafting are not cards, but they are transparent or translucent kind of sheets with some artwork on them. And once you draft them, you have these sleeves in which you will be putting these translucent sheets on top of each other, so that an artwork canvas or artwork picture is being formed with the symbols overlapping each other as well. So the symbols at the bottom is actually the real game. You're trying to complete those certain objectives that you need to have certain kind of symbols completed, and that's what you're trying to do. But in essence, what you are getting done is uh, uh, thematically is you're completing a picture or artwork. And sometimes in this game, the game, when you are overlapping these translucent sheets over one another, you just forget about the scoring itself, and you are trying to make the most beautiful artwork and trying to give it a theme. Okay, in my picture, it represents a person who is dreaming of fire and fairies or a different kind of world, something like that. You will end up telling stories about your pictures, and that gives a more thematic feel to the game itself. And that's why I love this very simple game, and it's on my number 97, Canvas. Vishal, what do you think about the game?
Okay, I absolutely adore the artwork. It is so colorful and vibrant, and I love it. I will admit it is a bit tedious sometimes when you're just stuck at a certain point in the game. The cards are not coming out because no one is getting the cards that they want, and you're so just kind of, you just have to deal with it and you don't get the desired product. But it is a really nice game. I would recommend it to a lot of people.
Yeah, for families, it's kind of a recommended game. It's very easy to play. So that's number 97, Canvas. On number 96 is going to be an old game, Descent Journeys in the Dark, second edition. Now there has been a third edition for this game as well, but I think the third edition is just a bit too much with the terrain and the 3D cardboard structures. Anyway, if you want some old school dungeon crawler, you cannot go wrong with Descent second edition. Now Descent by default is a one versus all game, which my family hates.
Yes,
Because I like to be the game master or GM or whatever
the
you want to
villain,
call,
whatever.
yeah, who controls all the enemies. And in that one, you have the different mechanisms where the enemy can attack the players and the other players are trying to defend against or complete certain objective. There are variety of missions available for this game, um, but The way we like to play is the co-op way, in which actually you can run the co-op method using an app which is very similar to the Mentions of Madness. If you have played that game, Mention of Madness app, it's available on Steam or mobile phone for free. Once you get that app, then it has a campaign in itself as well. You can run that campaign, you can play a single mission if you like, and using that campaign you can pick characters, and the game is going to control the enemies. Game is going to give you different missions, and these are all different missions from the base missions that come with the game manual in the original game box. So there is a lot of gameplay options in this one, and you can make your own missions in this one as well. So it's like a dungeon D&D in a box, as long as your main interest is the fighting mechanism, which is very simplistic dungeon crawler. So you will be chunking a lot of dice based on what kind of character you have. As long as you have those symbols on the dice, you will be attacking as well as trying to complete the objective. So that's Descent Journeys in the Dark. You have
I
you
played, okay. I played one game, but even in that one game, I only played 1 minute and left. As
what?
soon as it was Papa's first turn, I left because he was just being unfair.
Well, you played in the one versus all
Yeah.
mode. Yeah, in that one, as I said, that mode is not a favorite of in our family, because they always think that I'm being unfair, even though I play as per the game rules. I can control so many monsters. I don't have to control one monster at a time.
Yeah, but at least you could go easy on our first game.
All right. So that's number 96, Descent Journeys in the Dark, second edition. On number 95 is going to be Juicy Fruits.
Oh, yes, I remember that game.
Okay, Juicy Fruits is one of the newer games from Capstone Games in their family line. Capstone Games normally makes very heavy games, but this is a lighter family game, which is very similar to the kiddish puzzles in the old era, where you used to slide puzzles,
Like,
and whatever you slide to solve a puzzle, it uses that kind of
I
mechanism.
remember there was like an old type of game on the old computers where you would just slide around to make a picture. It's sort of
Yeah,
like that.
correct. But in this one, you're using that sliding mechanism. So wherever you have space on your board, there will be fruits all over your board, and wherever you slide your basket, that basket is going to activate that many spaces. So if your basket is a banana basket, so those many bananas you are going to earn as more spaces you move. If you move a mangosteen basket, then you're going to get that many fruit. So you want to move as much as possible, but the spaces on your board are limited unless you generate more space by sending off ships, by completing the orders of those boats. So each boat is going to have some symbols that this boat is looking for these specific fruits. So you can give those fruits to him, and that opens up more spaces on the board. So people want to open more spaces because they will be getting their fruit earning engine more. But at the same time, other players might be rushing to actually, there is a second board which has different kind of markets and shops. So they might be rushing to get those lucrative shops open, and those shops can earn you points as well. So but those shops are going to be limiting the space on your board. So it's a very neat balance that you have to do, that okay, do I need more space on my island to collect more fruit, or do I want to get those early shops which are going to help me, or maybe I want to mix all those fruits that I've collected and sell them as ice cream. There are even ice creams in this one.
Yes, I remember.
So it's a very bright looking game with very chunky fruit meeples in this one.
Yes.
So Ishal, what do you think about this game?
I played at least 2 or 3 times this game, and every single time my father would exploit the ice cream mechanism. Yes, he did. He would always buy the big ice cream stall. And he would also always get the crocodile hut at the end of the game. Exactly.
Well, yeah, there are different kind of attractions as well. If you can open them on your island, more attraction points, because tourists are coming on your island. So you want to open those tourist attractions, but again, it's a race. When do you really buy it out? Because it's going to just block space or fruit collection space. The trees are getting cut off for making those attractions. But again, really good mechanisms in this one. A really good family game. My number 95, Juicy Fruits. On number 94 is going to be another new game, Marvel Zombies Heroes Resistance. Now
We
this
played
is,
that recently,
yeah,
didn't we?
so this is a new variant of Zombicide, but this is not the big Marvel Zombies game. This is Heroes Resistance, which is a more compact and cheaper version of the game. In this one, you are not going to get, if you have played Zombicide, if you have not played, Zombicide is a very simple game, again a kind of a dungeon crawler where you will be moving around and killing a lot of zombies. Now, Marvel Zombies flipped the script, and instead, now you get to be the villain in Marvel Zombies, where the superheroes have turned into zombies and they want to eat normal people. But Marvel Zombies Heroes Resistance again flips the script to the normal heroic mode as well, where some heroes are still normal, doing superheroic stuff which you are controlling, and there are some superheroes which have turned to zombies and become the bad guys in this one. So you are actually resisting against those bad guys, those bad superheroes. So the bad superheroes that come in this one are Captain America, Iron Man, Scarlet Witch, and
And
Doctor Strange.
no, yeah, Doctor
Doctor
Strange.
Strange. So these four are the bad guys which have turned into zombies, and the ones that are still good are
Wasp,
Spider-Man, Wasp,
Hulk,
Hulk, and
Black
a
Panther.
Vision, a Black Panther, and
No, not Wonder Woman.
well, one more. Doesn't matter. So anyway, you can use these heroes to actually play against them. The zombies are replaced
Oh
by
no, Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. The zombie figures are replaced by miniatures, are replaced by standees, which is perfectly fine for me. The three different varieties are available there, each having their own unique abilities. The game comes with multiple missions that you get to play through. Even though the game comes with just 4 boards, with double-sided boards, but it had enough content, I think, for the price point, that if you are want a flavor of zombicide in a smaller package, I think this was just a perfect entry point to the bigger zombicide games with more familiar characters. So I think this was a very good product for families. Marvel Zombies Heroes Resistance. What was your opinion?
Again, it's a very good game. I very much like it. There's a bit of a story you can follow too if you don't just want to play blindly. Um, and of
Well,
course,
it's not a coherent story. There are
yeah,
missions with small story
their missions is
snippets.
like a small story element.
Yeah.
But I will not stop nagging about how this man keeps running into a whole block of zombies. Like there's just a party going on and he'll just run in. Like, do you not fear for
But
your life?
I'm a superhero and I
And
like to
he's
party.
peaceful. You see, he says he's peaceful, and then he attacks no zombies, and then I'm the one who has to deal with everything.
So that's number 94, Marvel Zombies. Yes. All right. Number 93 is going to be Space Base. And it is only with the expansion, the first expansion, the moon, what was it called? Shy Pluto?
Shy Pluto, maybe.
Yeah, Sharp Pluto. That is with this. If you remove that expansion, then I'm not interested in Space Base. Now, what is Space Base? Space Base is a very simple game in which you will have a board with the numbers 1 to 12, and in those 1 to 12 you will be slotting different cards with different abilities, and every turn everyone will be doing that. Every turn you will be rolling 2 dice, and whatever is the result on those 2 dice, that card in that slot is going to be activated from 1 to 12, and that is going to happen with all the players. So even if someone else rolls that, you still get to do something on that turn, because your card will have kind of two abilities. One ability that if you rolled, what's going to happen, and if someone else rolled, what's going to happen. So you keep engaged in this game even on someone else's turn. There is no downtime in this one. But on your turn, you also get to upgrade those abilities. So on different slots, you can upgrade the ability, and once you upgrade any ability, the previous card actually flips over and goes inside on the smaller ability side, which activates on other players' turn. So you can try to think about that, okay, this number is coming very common, like number 7, 6, 4. These numbers get repeated a lot, so maybe you want to make those numbers very powerful, or maybe your strategy is that I want to fill every number with more upgraded powers, because, well, whatever someone rolls, I want some useful ability. So in this way you're going to do it. Now the expansion added a lot more cool things. Each mission had some new unique cards, and some of these cards were, I really like them. When you have some cards in this expansion which are going to activate the abilities on the left and the right side, I love those cards. Then there are abilities in which you are getting some ships and attacking Pluto, and well, I'm spoiling.
Attacking food.
I'm spoiling few things, but again,
Should we put a
there
spoiler warning in this video?
there are new things that are going to open up, and that added a lot more abilities on space beyond the base game, and that's why it's, well, on my number 93.
I honestly, it's a nice game again, but I honestly don't have that many feelings for it. It is fun occasionally, but I don't know. It just doesn't really fit me, you know?
Okay, so on number 92 is going to be Legendary, a Marvel deck building game. And again, a deck building game. So
The
Ishal
big,
is not the biggest fan of deck building games. If she hears a game is deck building, she tries to avoid it. But
I'd say I'm warming up slightly. We played two deck building games.
yeah,
I'm getting fond of them.
but at the time when we played Legendary, you had not played
I
deck
do
building.
not like deck building games,
Yeah.
no.
So Legendary, Marvel deck building game, is one of the original Marvel themed games that came out, and it used deck building mechanism. And the good thing about this one is, well, it's a deck building game, so that means you will have a hand of cards, you will play those cards using the abilities on those cards, you will be defeating some villains, as well as using the acquire power on these cards, you will be acquiring new cards which are available in the market. The market is going to be of specific heroes. Each game you're going to set up in a different way, because in each game you can take a certain number of superheroes, mix them up, and that's going to be your purchasing deck. Same goes for villains. You're going to take some certain villains, certain bystanders, you're going to mix them. But what makes this game really unique is the different kind of missions that are given to you, the different events that are going to happen. They actually really switch up what's going to happen in each game. So each game is going to be different, because maybe in one mission the enemies are trying to escape the city. So if you are unable to defeat those villains in a certain number of rounds, they keep moving through the city until they escape. If a certain number of enemies have escaped, they win. Second time, maybe some other mission, they are trying to capture the bystanders and kill them. So if in the enemy deck you will be shuffling number of bystander cards, if a bystander card comes out, then the villain whichever are there, they are going to capture them, and you want to stop them. So there is a chance you can defeat that villain to save the bystander. If you are unable to save the bystander, maybe they kill enough bystander. So each game can have different kind of mechanisms in this one, not to mention the other variety that you can add by having different kind of super villains, the different kind of henchmen that you can mix and match in this one. The variability in this game is just out of the chart. So that's why it is really unique. The only bad thing which I found, especially in the base set of this game, is that if you have a Hulk card, maybe the abilities are different, but all the Hulk artwork is the same artwork. So that's a bad thing. All Captain America artwork is the same artwork, but the abilities are different. The card color is different and the abilities are different. So I really wish they had changed the artwork to match the ability that's mentioned, but that's a slight ding to it. Otherwise, it's a fabulous deck building game. So that's my number 92, Legendary, a Marvel deck building game. On number 91 is going to be Battle Line. Maybe you have played it, maybe you have not. This is one of the earliest games that I had. So some people
Is,
may know this game as Battle Line. Some people might know it as Scott and Totten. Both
it,
game,
is
same
it the
game.
one with the board with lots of holes and then you stick the little
No,
things? No.
no, that's Battleship. No,
Yeah.
it's not, that's
That's
not in
not
top
it.
100. So Battle Line. So Battle Line is a game by Rainer Knizia, and in this one, there will be different areas for which a battle is going to happen, and you're going to play some cards in that area. So you're trying to make poker hands in front of those areas, and as long as your poker hand is going to be stronger than your enemy's poker hand, then you get to win that area. whoever wins more area is going to be the winner. It's one of the very classic card games for two player. It's a two player only game, and the newer version comes with again environmental cards. There can be environmental effects. There can be areas with different effects. So not generally, I think you have to play three cards maximum in an area, but sometimes it might say that who is the attacker, who is the defender, and they can play more cards than the other player. So those kind of variety can be added in that game as well in the newer versions. But very simply, you're going to make poker hands. So for example, if you can make a pair of 777, that's going to be very powerful. If you make 1 2 3 4, that's a very powerful combination as compared to 2 3 7. So you're trying to make those hands, but also the number of cards are limited in your hand, so you have to play a card in each of the lines. And the problem is really you're in trouble every time, that okay, if I play this, there is no good combination right now. If I play this in this area to make this battle line, tomorrow you might get a card which was perfect for that battle line, and at that time you're really disappointed that why did I block my this line and now I've destroyed my combination. So it's a really good game. Battle line, my number 91. So that's it, our or my 90 to 100. Few games you have not played, few games you have
Actually,
played.
a lot of games I have not played.
Yeah, but anyway, hope you like that list. If you think any of these games are one of your favorite as well, leave that in the comment. If you think some game should be in this list in my 90 to 100, or based on these lists, do you want to recommend me any game, then leave that also in the comment. I'll be seeing you for the next batch of games, which is going to be from 90 to
90 to 80. Oh, no. 89 to 80.
89 to whatever. See you next time.
See you
Happy
next time.
gaming.
Happy gaming. He doesn't know how to count.